have been mobility programs, of course, involving physical movement of the students, faculty, researchers through study abroad, exchange programs, and so on. Not only that, offering joint research initiatives, dual degree programs, and the establishment of international branch campuses and so. And the last one, which has been identified, is leveraging technology in education by integrating digital tools and resources so that learning becomes more engaging, accessible, and effective. And the AI-powered platforms I think are increasing these days, not just in science and technology, but even in language teaching. There are researchers who are experimenting with using AI-powered tools in teaching languages. And that way we can have an interactive content which caters to individual student needs and learning styles, and they can learn at their own pace. And also because of this, we have a lot of access to information and other resources in the form of online libraries, academic journals, massive open online courses like MOOCs and so on. And so by way of conclusion, this is a call to collective action, the road to a trillion economy, which is the backbone of what the Prime Minister calls Viksit Bharat, is a developed, knowledge-driven India, and this is possible only in collective action. So when academia and industry come together, innovation becomes not only possible, but sustainable and impactful. So, as I said once again, if you permit me to, this is nothing new today, but maybe is getting reinforced even more because of NEP 2020. But we have been talking of the presence of industries in boards of studies in the different subjects of different universities and so on. Well, we do have industry experts in the board of studies, but usually, they might be busy to participate in our boards of studies, because when we are talking of revising and updating our curricula to the industry needs, well, their suggestions are very important. But sorry to say, though this has been going on for a lot of time, at the most, there is only a tangential involvement between the industries and the universities. So more industry involvement in the universities, in the institutes, I think will result in a much more fruitful and fruitful economy, and also in terms of scientific and technological development. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Professor, for your informed, comprehensive perspective. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have all been waiting for, it is our privilege to welcome the chief guest for this inaugural session, Sri Nara Lokesh, Honorable Minister for Human Resources Development, IT, Electronics and Communication and Real-Time Governance, Government of Andhra Pradesh. We request you, sir, to deliver the inaugural address. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, industry leaders, academicians, innovators, my dear students, good morning. Let me congratulate first CI, the Southern Region, and VIT for hosting an amazing forward-looking conclave. But I don't necessarily agree with them. The vision set here is reimagining higher education for India's $5 trillion economy. We should be thinking about our $30 trillion economy. India is going to achieve 5 trillion. Whether the leaders who are sitting here do what they're supposed to do or not. we will achieve $5 trillion economy. The question is, how fast can we achieve the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji's vision of India achieving its $30 trillion economy depends on the kind of reforms, collaboration, changes that we all do together here. Economic growth is not possible without intellectual and human capital being harnessed. You know, higher education is not merely a sector for me, it is a strategic pillar here in Andhra Pradesh. 54% of our population is under the age of 25, which makes us one of the youngest workforces. It is a greater asset, and yes, demographic dividend is here to be harnessed. But it also presents unique challenges. The challenges is in terms of our employability, in terms of our ability to adapt to the changes that the world is going through. You know, only 34% of India's working age population has received a formal training. This is compared to 96% in South Korea, 80% in Japan, and 75% in Germany. The recent economic survey stated that only 51% of our graduates are employable. 51%. There is a big mismatch of what we teach and what the market demands. To be fair, in our current higher educational institutions, we are not able to provide any gainful employment even after 3 to 4 years of formal training. Whilst youngsters go to Amirpet and within 4 to 6 months of training, they're able to find a job. So I truly believe that fundamental transformation, not correction, transformation is required in higher education. We must move from degree acquisition to skill activation. We can draw a lot of examples from across the world. Dr. Ashwini ji just mentioned about Stanford University and asked me to explain why Stanford has fostered innovation. And to be fair, it's a very old institution. It has built itself organically. But the most important thing is the ability of the institution to transform itself, to adapt to changes around itself. And when I went to Stanford, I was part of the old curriculum at the Graduate School of Business. I was literally the last batch of the old curriculum. And Brahmni, my wife, is also Stanford MBA. She was part of the new curriculum. And there's so much of sea change between the curriculum, the approach, that even universities have to start transforming themselves. Otherwise, they become irrelevant. Professor Ratnaji just mentioned about public universities. So that is my concern. Public universities also should transform themselves. They should be led by best in industry to drive changes. Only then will they also be relevant in higher education. You know, there is always a persistent gap between, academia and industry. A lot has been discussed today about it. But it's very, very important that we accelerate reforms. So APSHI, Vice Chair, is here. All the thought leaders are here in this room. What is important is pace, speed at which we bring in the change. We must accelerate reforms through dynamic curriculum updates, structured internships, mentor and career guidance ecosystem, and faculty immersion programs. This is not merely a luxury, this is need of the hour, this is necessity for India. As all of you are aware, there has been a change in the government in the 16 months back. And the Honorable Chief Minister signed one of his first GO, which was skill census. And the idea was, how do you assess the citizens across various trades? And then what kind of skill intervention we should provide? As leaders have said, Mr. Naidu is a visionary. He always looks ahead of the time, and then he leaves execution to youngsters like me. We tried skill census in its traditional census format in my own constituency, Mangalgiri, and we failed miserably. We were unable to assess across the various traits that today people are gainfully employed. And that is where we have just launched an initiative called Naipunyam. And Naipunyam is not merely a supply-demand aggregator of jobs, but it is a platform to assess skills across any trait available. And that is where AI has really come to help us. So you're an AC mechanic or a two-wheeler mechanic to an AI engineer, you will be assessed using AI, and we will be able to give you clear skill interventions, including training, so on and so forth, to help you upgrade. You know, our youth is globally recognized for their adaptability, discipline. And to be fair, Andhra Pradesh has led the revolution of IT from the front. And that is why if you look at all the major global institutes and companies are all headed by people from the two Telugu-speaking states. You know, we have great institutions now in Andhra Pradesh, including VIT, the IIT Tirupati, IIM Visakhapatnam, and of course our public universities are going through their own transformative phases. But what makes it even more exciting is Andhra Pradesh has positioned itself for the next generation of jobs, next generation of startups. It could be in data, it could be in quantum, it could be in innovation. Andhra Pradesh will lead from the front. Drawing from the inspiration of our Honorable Prime Minister, we have created our own vision, 2047, called Swarnandhra. It is to achieve a $2.4 trillion economy here in Andhra Pradesh by 2047. And to all the youngsters here, because you will definitely see this vision happen, you will see 2047. Take it from me, we won't need that much time here in Andhra Pradesh to deliver our target. I believe that there are 5 transformation pillars that are very, very important for us to achieve it. One is curriculum to careers. It's very, very important to shift from textbook learning to competency-based problem-solving education. And every syllabus must be co-designed by industry to be measured against employability outcomes. Professor Ratnaji explained that industry apathy is there. I don't necessarily agree with her. The titans of industry have very limited time. We as a state have to be proactive. We have to deliver on the speed. We shouldn't waste their time. Only then will they be willing to invest time to help us transform our entire curriculum. So APSHI should work even harder than they are, including the chairperson, to involve the industry in terms of bringing in the requirements, changes to the curriculum. Research and innovation is the second pillar. Each university COE must host incubators, patents and startup hubs. It's very, very important that we also tie up with other global universities. I've had an opportunity to be to Australia. Recently I visited quite a few universities in a very short time I was there. It's fascinating to see the kind of research that's happening there and how each university over a period of time has developed deep understanding and deep research in a sector. So a great example of this is a New South Wales University, which is, while it offers courses across sectors, their specialization is in solar cell. And I saw a 10,000 square feet rapid prototyping center, which was quite inspiring. And we are going to bring it to IIT Tirupati. We're already in touch with them to sort of look at how can we now bring collaboration between industry, academia and research together. So I think this is very, very important for all of us to work. The third pillar is our digital future skills. AI, quantum, semiconductors, green tech, robotics are here. But as Selvam has said, please don't outsource your creative thinking to ChatGPT or Gemini. While trivial tasks, we can use it. To be fair, please don't replace your creative thinking or critical analytical thinking using ChatGPT or AI tools. Internationalization is something that was discussed threadbare. It is very important to have tie-ups with global institutions because what they offer is exposure. What they offer is alternative thinking. This, I believe, is very, very important if India has to deliver on its $30 trillion mission. Inclusivity and regional balance is the other very, very important subject, and this is something very core to the heart of this administration. While Amaravati is our capital and there's a lot of work, I'm sure all of you would appreciate, now that rains have subsided and we are able to restart all the works here in Amaravati. But for us, all regions and all parts of the states are equally important. But what we have done is a very focused clusterization. So if you look at Anantapur, it's the automotive hub. Kurnool is the renewable energy hub. There's a lot of cement manufacturing coming in that zone because they have limestone. Electronics manufacturing is coming between Kadapa and Chittoor. A lot of work is happening in compressed biogas in Prakasam district. Erstwhile Nellore district is already diversified. All of you will be surprised to know 50% of India's air conditioning is manufactured here in Andhra Pradesh. We've signed with LG, Daikin and Blue Star. We're going to take this to 70%. Imagine one cluster, 70% of India's air conditioning is going to come. Compressed biogas, as I said, in Prakasam. Here in Krishna Guntur is capital. We have Quantum now coming and we have few other industries coming here. East-West Godavari districts are exceptionally well known for their fisheries and we're working hard to take that forward. North Andhra is going through its own transformation. It's going to be a $1 trillion ecosystem, starting with a pharma hub, chemical hub, medical devices manufacturing hub, to a steel city. I thought we'll be building one new steel city. It looks like we're going to build 2 new steel cities in Visakhapatnam. And the entire data ecosystem, IT ecosystem that's getting built out there. Why am I sharing this with you is we believe in the power of vertical and horizontal integration in each of these clusters. So let me take an example of your mobile phone. All of you are taking pictures, so I thought that was apt. You have a screen, you have a camera lens, you have a lithium-ion battery in it, you have a haptic engine in it. All these are roughly manufactured by about 1,000 suppliers. And our vision here in the state is to bring these 1,000 suppliers to that cluster and build a thriving ecosystem. So looking at it from an end-to-end perspective, that's what I call verticalization. And horizontal is where my department, HRD, comes in. Curriculum, skill development, testing of equipment, and third thing is certification of this equipment. So when I met the Blue Star leadership, they said we manufacture 50% of India's air conditioning, but if I have to get a heat pump certified, I have to send it all the way to Germany. And why is that the case? Why are they not here? And you want to make it a 70% ecosystem, then we need to bring in the entire certification here to India and to this particular cluster. So what you're going to see in the next 3.5 years is a tight integration between our vertical and horizontal approach, and we'll create a thriving cluster in each of these zones. And I would like to thank CI for their continued support, but I would also like to request CI that they need to run at the pace of the Andhra Pradesh government. We've done consultative committees. We have a sense of urgency. Andhra Pradesh was, exactly 18 months back, not in the radar of any investment or investor coming to India or even in India. But today we have attracted close to $120 billion worth of investments already. And the partnership summit that we're hosting 14th, 15th in Visakhapatnam, we're hoping to close another $120 billion investment. By the end of our term, as we go for re-election in 2029, I have a vision that we can attract $1 trillion worth of firm commitment. So these are investments that obviously will not get done in the year that they're signed, but they will start. So if you look at ArcelorMittal project, it takes 7 years for all 3 phases to be implemented, but $15 billion will get invested in that project. If you look at the Google Data City, it's $15 billion that will get invested in 3 years. So we will bring $1 trillion worth of investment here to Andhra Pradesh, but I would request CI to run at the pace of Andhra Pradesh government so that we can work collaboratively, we can look at changes proactively, and we are here not to waste your time. We are here to take your input and implement it to make sure that the Andhra model of collaboration is truly implemented in spirit. So industries should co-design curriculum. I think that's something that all of us touched upon. Universities should host industry labs. So I'd request VIT also. I know quantum computer is coming here, but I think we should look beyond even quantum and few other areas that we can sort of engage with. And of course, as a government, we are here to provide an enabling framework, a policy framework that is not rigid, that is not tight. Madam Ratnaji did mention the importance of cross-collaboration, humanities working with computer science. I agree with Madam because I am a product of it. My bachelor's is in information systems, but in Carnegie Mellon, it was not part of the computer science school. It was part of humanities and social science. So where 50% of our curriculum was about managing people, projects, execution, timelines, and 50% was only on technical programming, coding, and so on and so forth. So I think we have to, as state, as APSHI, we have to be a lot more flexible, lot more proactive. Our policies have to be very, very proactive to ensure that this kind of collaboration can actually be achieved. And yes, together with all the youngsters in this room, we will make India proud. And honestly, I'm tired of hearing about Beijing, Shenzhen, Tianjin. It is time to hear about India's models. We have a gift city, we have Amaravati, we have our own models that will thrive over the next decade. And together, all of us here can make it a reality. If we have to achieve this, if we have to make this a reality, the most important thing that all of you need to have is fire in your belly. You need to have it. As a government, we will provide the framework. As educationalists here, they will provide world-class education here. Skill development will be provided. But one thing we cannot give is fire in your belly. You need to have it. You need to set tall goals and you need to go chase those tall goals. When this government came in, we didn't expect to achieve $120 billion worth of investments in such a short time. To be fair, that is equal to the investments in the last 10 years of Andhra Pradesh history. Last 10 years. But then we are not happy. We said we can do even better, we can do even more. And that is why we're chasing it. That's because we have fire in our belly, and it's important that you have fire in your belly. And dream big. People around you will laugh. People around you will make fun. But if you don't dream, you really cannot achieve what you want to achieve. If we don't dream, we cannot make India a developed nation. So dream big, but then care to achieve. You have to be meticulous. You have to focus on your execution and ensure you put in the time that is required to deliver it. And honestly, life is not a destination, it's a journey. It's important that we constantly learn. You constantly expose yourself globally on what's happening. Enrich your knowledge, work together and build a collaborative environment. And life is never a straight line. The highs are very high, the lows are very low. If there's anyone who's gone through it, it is me. In 2019, when I contested in my constituency, which my party only won in 1985, I lost. A lot of people made fun of me, but I didn't care. I said my goal is set. I am going to go about achieving it. 5 years I worked hard. I didn't leave it. I refused to accept defeat. And 2024, I won it with one of the highest majority in Andhra Pradesh history. Life is not fair, but then keep at it. Only if you work hard, you can achieve the targets that you set yourself out to achieve. And Partnership Summit is one forum. I know that quite a few partners here are coming. We should engage, we should exchange ideas. And definitely my goal is very simple. Strong states is strong nation. When states compete, India wins. So we will compete with Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana and all other states, including Gujarat. And I'm sure India as a country will win. And the most important thing, I would like to request APSHI, VIT, to all our partners here, that speed is of the essence. It's no longer about big versus small. It's about slow versus fast. Today, Andhra Pradesh is able to ground so many projects. It's sheerly because we take it upon ourselves to ensure that speed is delivered. Only then we can achieve what we want to achieve. I know that curriculum changes are not easy. I know that there's always will be a lot of resistance. But I would like to request the titans of the academia also to approach the subject with open mind. What we have done so far has worked for us. I'm not saying it's not worked for us. But I don't believe it is enough to take us to our $30 trillion goal. So we have to have open mind. We have to embrace changes a lot more proactively. All the HODs have to look inward into their own departments, see how we can sort of improvise. It could be a transformation or it could be reforms. But we have to do it. There's no second thought about it. So I request all of you to embrace speed and definitely make Andhra Pradesh proud. And all of you are part of history. You know, when I was growing up, because everyone here is quite younger than I am. So when I was growing up, I saw Hyderabad develop in front of my eyes. I was jokingly saying, I've seen every part of Outer Ring Road get developed in front of my eyes. I remember how we used to crib that there was no connectivity to Shamshabad airport back then. But today it's of course very well connected. You're exactly seeing that magic happen in front of you here in Amaravati. Next 3 years is going to be a really transformative experience for Amaravati, for Andhra Pradesh. And all of you are going to witness history in making. And all of you should be part of this history. You should look at starting companies. You should look at nurturing things. Embracing opportunities that the great state of Andhra Pradesh is going to give you. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me here. And I look forward to more interactions. Next time around, I would love to interact with students, understand their aspirations, their expectations. And I'll bring my entire APSHI here. They will also have to understand because I keep telling them they're yet to catch up to my speed. So they need to come in front of students. I think then they'll be able to appreciate the hunger, the fire in the belly that our children have. I look forward to coming back and interacting with students again. Thank you very much and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for the inspiring address and your visionary outlook on strengthening the education ecosystem to align with Andhra Pradesh and India's economic ambitions. Thank you once again, sir. So may I now invite Dr. G.V. Selvam, Vice President, VIT, to felicitate our chief guest, Sri Nara Lokesh, sir. Thank you, sir. To conclude the inaugural session, I now invite Mr. Saranam Narendra Kumar, Vice Chairman, CII, Andhra Pradesh, and Executive Director, Apex Solutions Limited, to deliver the concluding remark.
So good morning, everyone. It's always difficult to grab the attention after a fantastic speech by our Honorable Minister, but still I'll do my part here. So good morning, and Mr. Nara Lokesh, Honorable Minister for Human Resources Development, IT, Electronics and Communication, RTG, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Professor K. Ratnashilamani, Vice Chairperson, Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education, Mr. Philip Assams, Founder and CEO, First Gen UK, Dr. G.V. Selvam, Chairman, CIISR College Excellence Cluster 25 and Vice President, VIT, Dr. Ashwin Mahalingam, Co-Chairman, CIISR Task Force on Education and Industry Institute Linkages, Co-Founder, Okapi Advisory Services Private Limited, and Director, IIT Madras, and distinguished speakers, members and industry and friends from media. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude the inaugural session and step into an enrich with newer ideas, insights and forward-looking conversation, it is essential and pivotal. The higher education plays a vital role to become a $5 trillion economy. As our minister just now mentioned, that we need to be a $30 trillion economy by 2047. That is the mission for Viksit Bharat 2047. Along with that, and AP wants to be at $2.4 trillion economy, and we want to march along with the national guidelines. And today's our discussion is going to be on bridging the industry-academia gap, readdressing the degrees for emerging sectors and higher education and internationalization. Will explore how our education system and ecosystem can become the true engine for our national progress. So I would like to mention a few of my experiences here. So since how the ecosystem to be transferred. In one of the meeting, so I was talking to Rajiv Chandrasekhar ji. He was mentioning now the industries and all coming up where the metros are there, where the infrastructure is very well established. Now the future is getting transformed into the place where the knowledge is available, where the skill set is available, where the productivity is there. So industry is going to come to the places where the knowledge. Now this is the place where we have so many universities. The knowledge is here. I'm sure that this place will be a happening place in a near future. And apart from this, in one of our discussion, Mr. Bhatia, Apple CEO, when I was talking to him about how the production expansion is going on, he mentioned very clearly they have been in this industry in India, the manufacturing, because of this production linked incentive schemes. When the schemes is not there, then they are not ready to be here in India. The reason behind it is the right kind of a manpower, right kind of a skill set, it's not available, and we are far, far below than the expected productivity from the international standard. As well as the training the manpower, it is a cost, in fact. Once the people comes out from the colleges, and those they are not ready to deployable in the manufacturing. The reason is there is a big gap in it. In fact, India's demographic dividend gives us an extraordinary edge, but also a profound responsibility. Our education system must evolve to become more practical, industry aligned, and global connected, ensuring every graduate is prepared for a rapid transforming world. So if you look at into Andhra Pradesh, it's standing tall across all other Indian states. The gross enrollment registry of ratio is 36.8% when comparing with the national averages, but we need to do a lot of catching up to be done to meet the international standards. To do that, so we need to come up with a proper reforms and integrate the same with AI, digital skills and entrepreneurship and initiative that empower women and rural youth are shaping a more inclusive and future-ready academic landscape. So the current landscape of Andhra Pradesh, if you look at it, Andhra Pradesh is hosting closer to 2,600 higher educational institutions, out of which 47 universities are there and 321 engineering colleges. All put together, we have been producing closer to 1.4 lakh engineers every year, or they are employable. As our minister just told that 51% is our employability, but my research saying that it is 45%, but still that's good enough, so 45. So, but still we need to do a lot here to increase our employability, what to be done and how it has to be done, etc. And what AP is required by 2030, AP is required closer to 1.2 million skilled professionals. So where they're going to work, how they are going to work. As in the previous speech, the minister told very clearly already $120 billion is already landed, and another $120 billion is going to get signed on 14th and 15th. All these people are going to work in those industries subject to, if they have the capability, if they have a potential to do it, if they have an innovation and creativity to think further, to move ahead on this. In fact, so I did a little research on particular thing. If you look into I have just compared, I've taken two timelines. One is pre-COVID, the other one is a post-COVID. So the salaries for the non-engineering people, especially for the helping, the helpers, drivers, odd jobs, masons, etc. What is their salary? And what is the salary of an engineer in post-COVID and pre-COVID? If you look into it, so there is a predominant growth in the odd job. There is 75 to 80% growth in the salaries of the employees, those who are doing an odd job. When we look into an engineer's, I'm sorry to say this, the salaries got stagnated. It is close to 3 lakh rupees. It is there previously 3 lakh per annum, that means 25,000 per month. Still today, the same salaries are prevailing. It is time to think about it. So why these salaries got stagnated? What happens here? If we want to grow $30 trillion economy, whether the salary levels at 25,000 is enough to grow at that pace. To get 7 to 8% GDP growth, is that enough to do it? So our per capita income should grow up and our salary should move up. Then only the $30 trillion economy objectives can be achieved here. So the industry academia gap is persistent and curriculum must better reflect modern skill demands such as AI, IoT, robotics and cyber security. Research output remains modest, calling for a shift from teaching focused to innovation driven institution. So we've been focusing on teaching. So we want innovation driven institutions. Faculty development is uneven and digital access needs strengthening and global exposure for learned must expand. So now to creating this curriculum, modernizing the curriculum, skill development and apprenticeship at scale, CII would like to act as a catalyst, would help the universities. I heard from the madam that industry doesn't have the time to create it. Certainly we try to create that space and we'll do that, madam. You please put across to us this particular one. So the future of Andhra Pradesh will be shaped not only in factories, it will be shaped in the classrooms and laboratories where young minds learn to imagine, design and lead. Let us commit to building the ecosystem that is future ready, globally competitive and deeply innovative. Before we close, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have joined us this morning. So Honorable Minister, Mr. Nara Lokesh Garu, so we have very well taken, sir, the $30 trillion economy by 2047 and 2.4 trillion from Andhra Pradesh side. The importance of human capital has been taken into consideration and 5 pillars of transformation, this university, the bridging the gap is very well taken, sir. And the next thing is Professor Pre Ratnashila Mana, Vice Chairperson, Apashi. Thank you for your valuable presence, madam. How modern approach and dual dominant degrees will help the industry as well as these institutions. Very well taken. And Mr. Philip Asalam, founder, First Gen UK, our sincere appreciation for your participation, sir. And Dr. G.V. Selvam and Dr. Ashwin Mahalingam, thank you for your leadership and continuous support. And a special note to thanks to our distinguished speakers, panelists, and our partners. Event partner, VIT Vellore Institute of Technology. Associate partners, JPR University and Tyagarajan College of Engineering. Supporting partner, ICD Academy. As Andhra Pradesh is hosting the CII 30th Partnership Summit in Visakhapatnam for tomorrow, day after, 14th and 15th November. It's a marquee platform championed by Mr. Nara Lokesh Garu and pivotal for attracting large-scale investment. He's already mentioned 120 is landed, 120 is going to get landed. He's very confident on it and generating new jobs. Today's discussion gain even greater relevance and urgency. So, wishing you all productive and engaging conference ahead. So, please join us for the networking tree and we will reassemble again here in next 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the close of the inaugural session of the CIS Southern Region Higher Education Conclave 2025. We extend our heartfelt thanks to all our dignitaries for sharing their valuable insight. Before we let you go, dear guests, dignitaries on the dais, I would request you to please stand up for a group photo.
Running fast, sir. Always running. But picture you Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me.